All right, what are our users seeing? We made it, guys. Here's where I was talking about the graph when we polled our first 50 users over the first year of use. This was their average AR before using Connect Booster. On average, our customers were about 48 days, something like that, overdue, and this is over time. We must have signed a lot of customers in that month. But this is the effect that they're seeing. We even technically had a negative where the overall customer base, a lot of the invoices were set up on AutoPay, and a number of them had scheduled payments for the invoices when they're in there, just taking care of them early, before the due date. Here's the second graph. Point of fact, and I am not the biggest statistic guy in the world because they can be manipulated and turned in so many ways, but this one just blew my mind. Our average client on the first 50 clients after a year had reduced their aging AR by 97%. Almost don't like even saying it because it sounds so ridiculous, but this is the point where I was talking 48 days on average past the term. So if you had a term of net 30, this was after the net 30 term was the average customer that was being paid. Average AR overdue on those 50 customers when we polled last, 1.4 days. And again, this goes back to last we checked, and this is true for my company. I can't pay bills with AR that makes me feel warm and fuzzy on the books, but I can with cash, and so we needed to fix the problem to reduce the amount of money that was sitting there on the books. We needed to get into our bank account. And I want you guys to put up a number in your mind. Is it $5,000 that you have on average rolling accounts receivable balance? Is it $5,000? Is it $10,000? Is it $100,000? Is it $1 million? Okay, sitting in AR, that's your average rolling AR. If we do a really bad job of implementing the product, if we reduce that by 30%, what does that do in tangible cash in your business account? $10,000, let's call it $10,000 rolling average AR. If we do a really bad job of implementing the product in each of our respective businesses, and we can put an extra 3,333.33 repeating in our bank account because we've done a bad job at implementing Connect Booster over the average user after they're using us for a year, that's great. That would have done a lot for me before the product in my average rolling AR actually grabbed 30%. It's blown my mind what the product's been able to do as you work through the implementation. But that's the number. And again, automating that process, getting that type of benefit, bringing it to ConnectWise users, TigerPod users, and soon to AutoTask users, automating your process of getting paid for less than a billable hour a month. Getting the software that all the big players get to use and have spent tons of money investing in and being able to pick up the product at a very, very reasonable price. Again, we're all about business. We need to reduce costs, increase profit. A number of ways to do that. Efficiency, this is another way. There's a lot of different ways that you can accomplish this. You need a tool though, and here's my joke. You can always hire Jesse James. If you don't want Connect Booster, you can send him knocking on the door and pay up sucker there too. We always have to do something stupid. There it is. And I'm going to open it up here again for questions. I don't know, Dan, if you want to chime in here. If we've got a couple of questions here.
That was a fantastic presentation, Ryan. I really enjoyed it.
Appreciate it. Sorry for the, we always have little technical weird things that got to go on. So.
I think you did pretty good. It was, if the worst thing that happened is you had to quick run through some slides, I think we did good. Yeah, there were a couple questions that came through. I think for the most part, you did a good job answering questions. The one question that I think was a big one was, you guys obviously work with ConnectWise, which is what my experience has been. Again, I'm not really part of our billing department, so I don't have a lot of experience with what you guys did exactly with us. But but you also mentioned that you work with TigerPaw, and obviously you're integrated with QuickBooks.
Yeah.
What else do you guys work with? Do you work with Autotask at all? Do you?
We have that product. I mean, it is in alpha essentially right now, but the beta process will be pretty quick because we have a number of people that are Autotask users that basically want that product when it's in beta, and they're going to be the test bed, and we'll work out all the kinks and bugs that are inevitable, when you release a software product, and just get it running smooth. And
Gotcha.
To be honest, it was our goal to go to their big conference here beginning of June, and we just didn't feel the product was ready for beta customers at that point. We just didn't want to push out garbage, for lack of a better term, and
Sure.
it wasn't garbage. We just wanted it to be refined to a point, where we can be proud of it and minimize the issues that people would have in beta. Because, I mean, it's sophisticated software. It's doing a lot of things, and when you're talking, it's one thing when you can't log in and see a user inside of ConnectWise. It's a whole other thing when you're dealing with someone's money, and we take that very, very, very seriously. Again, we work with thousands of accounts throughout the U.S. and Canada, and I learned that in the core business of B&G Holdings. You better be on your game when you're dealing with dollars in someone's business, and so
Yeah.
it will be out soon. It will be out in beta. If anyone on the call is interested in being a beta partner on the Autotask side, we'd be more than happy. We're actually, as far as an accounting package side, we're working right now with a company where we're going to be doing it's going to be custom work for them, a Great Plains integration, but we're doing it for that partner at a greatly reduced cost, because then we're going to be able to offer it to Great Plains customers. And we also have a product that's sitting on the block. It's actually a very short walk for us that actually won't need a PSA front-end plug. Okay? It will just be a QuickBooks integration. So basically, what you're seeing, we actually have a portion built that I could show you guys inside of Connect Booster. I turned it off for the demo, where we can actually run automated billing and automated trigger billing based on QuickBooks memorized transactions that doesn't even rely on the PSA agreements, right? And so that's a product where a very short amount of walk away with the QuickBooks integration that we can do 90% of what we do with Connect Booster just with the QuickBooks backend. And
Wow.
so we have a lot of cool things coming down the line, and we had this large concept after we started developing the product, and ConnectWise as a niche was really our initial test bed, and it's been going really well, and it's been received well. So we're just continuing to invest time, money, and resources into the overall vertical of what this product is going to be, business-to-business payments and automation of those payments. So
I got you. Okay, one of our partners, Bob, who's on the call with us, asked about Sage Pro. Are you familiar with that software? I haven't heard of it before. Is there any connection with you guys and them, or is that just...
Right now, no. And Sage, to my knowledge, I'm probably speaking above my pay grade here in accounting, but they had acquired, Peachtree, I believe the Mass, Mass 90, Mass 200. Mm-hmm. I believe those fall under the Sage brand. So they actually have a number of different accounting packages that fall underneath the Sage brand. We just haven't, honestly, we haven't wrapped our mind around it yet. Okay. And in our initial, test bed here of ConnectWise, we haven't run across a ton of Sage users up to this point. So many of them are QuickBooks users. You know what I mean? It's always a balance of time, resources, and potential revenue. That's the challenge.
It always is.
So we're always trying to accommodate as much as we can, and not go resource heavy into something that could hurt us too. So that's the honest answer. I'm really good at giving you long answers for very
that's fine.
straightforward questions, and not at this time. We don't. That should have been my initial answer.
Okay.
Apologize.
Okay, so let's see. Matt asked a question too, which I'm pretty sure you answered right after he asked it, but I'll just ask it again just because. Yeah. When you make an invoice in QuickBooks that isn't in ConnectWise, Connect Booster sucks it into the portal, right, so that you can pay it?
Run that by me just one more time. I was trying to read it. at the same time.
Sure.
I make an invoice in QuickBooks that isn't in ConnectWise. Will ConnectBooster suck it into the portal to be paid? Yep, you're exactly right. So what we're doing is we use QuickBooks as the financial master. And the QuickBooks integration is really the key here. So if you create an invoice inside of QuickBooks that does not exist in ConnectWise, absolutely we are going to present it inside the portal when that sync runs, and it's going to be viewable and payable. It's going to have your logo on the invoice template. We re-replicate a nice view of that invoice, and your customer is going to be able to view it and pay it. So no problem whatsoever. When we see an invoice number, invoice 100, for example, that's in QuickBooks, and then we see it inside of ConnectWise, because we're always querying that side, we opt to then show the ConnectWise invoice image. But QuickBooks is still always the financial master in terms of what's due for your customers, and when an invoice is even available to be viewed inside our software. It must be in the accounting package first.
Gotcha. Okay, well, I think we only have a few minutes left. If you guys have any more questions, this is your chance to type them in. Otherwise, Ryan, I really appreciate having you on the call.
Hey, you guys are great, Dan. It's been fun working with you through this process, and your team is top-notch. I mean, you guys, again, I give you guys so much credit for what the software is, beyond, what our point of view was, and you get blinders on the sides, right? You get blinders on the sides when you create a product, for yourself. You guys opened our world up, and there's so many of these things that ConnectBooster does that you guys were integral into making happen. So shout out to you and Chris and Natalie.
Very cool.
And I also just wanted to highlight here ConnectBooster contact information on the screen. If you guys have any questions, always email info@connectbooster.com. Here's our site. Here's our phone number. My email, really easy, just Ryan, R-Y-A-N, @connectbooster.com. And so if you have any real specific questions or want to get in and do a test drive with me one-on-one, I do that day in, day out. Just reach out and be more than happy to answer any questions that you guys have, especially in payments processing. 90% of our customers process their payments with us because we save them money. I can't tell you how many guys, virtual administrator, for example, I think when you guys implemented the product, we probably paid for ConnectBooster 3 times over on what we saved you guys in electronic payments. So even if you didn't use the software, you were just on payments process. You were just making money by us having a conversation. So we do that for so many customers. Just help them understand that painful. Nobody loves credit card processing. ACH is the way to go. Personally, it's minimal cost compared to paying a percentage. But if you guys have a large amount of volume in credit card business, we're going to help you reduce those costs too. And oftentimes completely pay for ConnectBooster with the savings on that side. So reach out to me on that end. I'll consult you for free on that end, even if it's just you're not interested in ConnectBooster or want to talk about that. I'm more than happy to help. So
I think
approachable as an entity here. So
I think the main message here is that if you have a payment system and you want to improve it, I mean, it sounds like you're the guy to talk to, whether you have ConnectWise or not, whether you have QuickBooks or not. I mean, it sounds like you kind of have a solution for everyone, or you will.
We do.
And you're actually a lot wider of a target than I thought, or you can handle a lot more than I thought you could. Coming into this webinar, so I'm glad that I was here.
Hey, every day you learn something new, right?
That's right. That's right.
That's the beauty of our industry, and yeah, I mean, just reach out. You guys have any questions in that world, be more than happy to help you out and take a look. And no obligation. I mean, we just do that consulting side, and if there's something we can do to help you out, great. If not, we'll give you guys some education and give you guys a heads up on the industry. So either way is cool.
Very cool. All right, I think we'll go ahead and wrap it up with that. Ryan, thanks for being on the call. Guys, connectbooster.com, very easy to get, to get there and find out more. I think that you can get in touch with Ryan, with his team directly, and they will be able to help you out. If you have any other questions, you can ask me. We'll also be recording this and putting this online, so you guys can have a chance to view it again if you want to, take a look at that demo, get another walkthrough. Or the same walkthrough a second time. and we'll look forward to seeing you guys again.
Cool. Thanks again, guys. Appreciate everybody taking time out of their day to be on the call. I know we're all busy, and time is valuable, and I appreciate you allowing us to have that asset, that portion of the day. So thank you very much.
Very cool. All right. See y'all.
Cool.